James had always believed in love, the kind that was built on trust, loyalty, and understanding. When he met Sarah, he thought he had found everything he ever wanted. She was beautiful, caring, and full of energy. For 2 years, they had built a life together, and now their wedding was just 2 weeks away. Their love had survived many ups and downs, but James never expected that a single moment of doubt could destroy everything they had built. Sarah loved him deeply, but she had a flaw which she struggled with: her temper. It was a fire that burned uncontrollably whenever she felt threatened, and this time it would cost her more than she ever imagined. One evening, James was in the kitchen preparing a simple dinner for the both of them when Sarah grabbed his phone from the table. She had never been the type to snoop, but something about the way his phone buzzed caught her attention. Her eyes widened when she saw the name that flashed on the screen: "My favorite." Her heart pounded. Who was this? Why was another woman's number saved with such an affectionate name? Her mind raced with possibilities, and every single one of them led to betrayal. She called the number, but it went straight to voicemail. That made her angrier. James walked in, humming a tune, completely unaware of the storm about to hit. "Who is my favorite?" she asked, her voice sharp. James looked confused. "What?" She held up his phone. "This number. Who is she?" James chuckled, not realizing the depth of her anger. "That's my sister Linda. You've met her." But Sarah didn't believe him. The name alone felt like a slap to her face. Sarah's mind clouded with fury. She had seen too many stories of women being deceived, and she refused to be one of them. Before James could say another word, she grabbed the remote and hurled it at the massive TV on the wall. The crash echoed through the apartment. Glass shattered everywhere. The million-naira television that James had worked so hard to buy now lay in ruins. James stood frozen, unable to comprehend what had just happened. His heart pounded in his chest, not just because of the expensive loss, but because of what Sarah's actions meant for their future. Sarah, breathing heavily, glared at him. "You think I'm a fool? You think I won't fight for my rights?" James clenched his fists, struggling to keep his voice steady. "Sarah, what have you done?" Before Sarah would respond, the door swung open. Linda, James's sister, stepped in, smiling as she held up her phone. "James, I've been calling you. Your phone keeps sending me to voicemail." She paused, looking around. "What happened here?" Sarah's heart dropped. Her breath hitched as realization dawned on her. James' sister, my favorite, she had just destroyed everything over a minor misunderstanding. Linda looked at her brother's face and then at Sarah's pale expression. "James, what's going on?" Sarah's legs felt weak. She clutched her chest, turning to James with tear-filled eyes. "James, I didn't know." Tears streamed down Sarah's face as she realized the damage she had done. "James, please. I acted out of anger. I thought—" James raised up her hand, stopping her. His jaw was clenched, his face unreadable. "You thought what, Sarah? That I would betray you? That I would bring another woman into our home?" His voice was laced with disappointment. Linda, now understanding the situation, shook her head. "Sarah, you could have just asked me. I'm his sister. Did you really think James would do something like that to you?" Sarah fell to her knees, sobbing. "James, I swear, I didn't mean it. I love you. I was just scared." James took a deep breath and looked at the shattered television, then looked back at the woman he was supposed to marry. And in that moment he knew love alone was not enough. James' heart ached, but he knew what had to be done. "Sarah, I can't marry you." Sarah's head snapped up. "No, James. Please, it was a mistake. Don't do this." He shook his head. "This isn't just about the TV, Sarah. It's about trust. If a simple name on my phone could make you react like this, what will happen in the future? Marriage isn't just about love. It's about believing in each other, and you don't believe me. Linda stepped forward, placing a gentle hand on James' shoulder. Brother, are you sure about this? James nodded. I can't marry someone who can destroy everything we've built in seconds because of anger. Sarah pleaded, cried and begged. She called him every day, sent long messages, even showed up at his workplace. I'll change. I'll go for therapy. I'll work on my anger. Please, James, don't throw us away. But James had already made up his mind. Some mistakes couldn't be undone. He still loved her, but he couldn't ignore the truth. If she had trusted him, none of this would have happened. Days turned into weeks. James focused on himself, on healing. He realized that sometimes letting go of someone you love was necessary for your own peace. Sarah, too, had to face her demons. She started therapy, learning to control her emotions. But deep down, she knew it was too late. Months later, Sarah reached out one last time. James, I know I don't deserve your forgiveness, but I want to thank you. Losing you was my biggest heartbreak, but it taught me something important. Love is nothing without trust and self-control. I only wish I had learned this before I lost you. James read the message with a sigh. He wished her the best, but he knew they could never go back together. James eventually found love again, with someone who trusted him without question. He learned that true love brings peace, not suspicion. Sarah also moved on, but she carried the lesson with her that love wasn't just about feelings. It was about trust, understanding, and self-control. And so life went on, teaching them both that sometimes love alone was not enough to make a relationship last. The moral lesson of this story reminds us that trust is the foundation of every relationship. Without it, love crumbles. Anger and jealousy can destroy something beautiful in seconds. Learn to control your emotions. Always seek the truth before reacting. Assumptions can lead to irreversible damage. Love is not enough. Respect, understanding, and patience are just as important. Sometimes, walking away from someone you love is necessary for your peace of mind.